guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Grace if you're new here, and this is the Rusty Thicket. Today we are going to build a trinket box, or shelf really, to put on my desk for my gachapon finds and all of my little knickknacks and stuff that I like to look at regularly, like my favorite pieces, I guess you'd say. All you need is foam core board, a hot glue gun sticks, the unpictured exacto knife because I have already cut all of this down, and a cutting board, which I really recommend because you want the sharpest exacto knife that you can, which means you want to protect your table from that. The sharper the exacto knife, the cleaner your cuts are. The cleaner the cuts are, the better your measurements will all match up. So definitely don't skimp on that exacto knife. I would also recommend having it be kind of the more box cutter heavy duty type, because foam core board can snag and you don't want that. It makes it look ugly. But I decided to start with the edges and work my way in. I could have done it the other way and probably saved myself a little bit of a headache, but I was worried that everything would really match up, and this seemed to be less of a hassle if I had to cut anything down because they wouldn't already be in a shelf format. Hot glue sets really quick, so this was pretty easy. I'd say all in all it took me about 20 minutes, even though this whole video will be obviously about half of that. I did have to glue some stuff in sections because hot glue dries pretty quick, so I didn't want to end up having to lift off a piece of foam core board and risk having it pull the top layer of paper. Now I'm going to start working on the insides. I really recommend, if you're going to build a shelf, I know that this doesn't have to be super sturdy, although it turns out to be really sturdy. Foam core board, I guess it kind of could be like a really light wood almost. It's really sturdy when you get it all glued together, but make sure you put in some extra vertical lines because that's what helps support the longer shelving. And I do have three long shelving pieces that go in the center. You'll see here. This is the first one. And on this one, we do have to slide it down into the existing vertical shelves. So I went ahead and laid down the hot glue on the back side. And then on the actual shelf itself, I went ahead and lined that with glue. Now that does mean some of it came off as I was sliding it down because it's a pretty tight fit like I wanted. But we go back in later and kind of clean that up, and I am going to give this a coat of black paint to get everything to sort of blend and match in together. Oh, and I do have a tip. If you guys are ever using hot glue, and you can, the best way to get all those little strings off is by using a lint roller. I can't remember where I saw that, maybe on TikTok, but obviously it can't really work that well here since this is like a three-dimensional thing, but especially if you're working on something flat or cloth, it picks up everything. It's a great hack. So I'm just making sure all of my shelves are at 90 degrees and as straight as possible, because these little shelves are going to start going in a few places next, and if your verticals aren't perfect, then everything else is going to be off too. Sorry, my cell phone keeps going off. So like I was saying earlier, this definitely would have been cleaner if I had built the inside shelving first. But honestly, I can't tell you the last time I did a project like this, and since I didn't have the tools to work with wood, and this was the next best thing, I don't know if there's a better way to put foam core board together, especially this quickly. You know, I don't want to nail it or try to staple anything, so this is really the best thing I could come up with. If you guys have any suggestions for next time, let me know, because I could see myself building more of these, especially smaller ones, in the future for my collection. Make sure you stay around to the end, because I'm gonna set everything up and let you guys see what it looks like. It turns out really, really cute. Especially just for some paper. I loved adding in these little bitty shelves. I would have done more of these if I wasn't so worried that a lot of my stuff is weird shaped. But I wasn't sure if I was creating a problem by not having, you know, enough open space to lay things like diagonally if I wanted to or whatever. Alright, and then these top shelves are the last one I put in. The final top part, because I've got the base and we're working on the back side of it now. So the top piece that we're about to put in was honestly the most difficult because it had so many contact points. It was sort of difficult to film also, which you'll see. But after I kind of got the hang of it, that's what really made everything feel super, super solid. So ultimately, I'm glad I put it in, but that top piece is what I did not account for, so it sits a little differently on my desk than I would like for it to. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it, but you do need a ruler. Obviously, when you're measuring these things out, you would like to keep your lines as straight as possible, so a cork back or a rubber back metal ruler, because you don't want to mess up a really nice plastic ruler with an exacto knife. It can get a little unruly. Alright, so now that it's all together, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to set all of my stuff up at my desk so you guys can see how I will go through and decorate it after I do some off-screen painting. Alright, so this is where it's going to live on my desk. It's actually supposed to go in front of that black post. But I also did not take into consideration that screw, that bolt that hangs out a little bit. But honestly, it's probably better behind that bar because we do get little earthquakes and this desk is not super sturdy. So if it falls forward, it's being held back now, technically. So that's good. But these are my little trinkets. I just got this axolotl at the exchange in a 𝍊𝑋𝍊𝑋𝍊𝍊𝍊𝍊𝍊𝍊𝍊. Its little mouth opens and it articulates its legs and its tail. It's pretty neat. Its eyes are creepy though. I think I'm gonna repaint those. And I just wanted something that everything could sit at because I don't want all of my little trinkets in a box, and I'm really proud of some of my collection. And then I wanted to put my most goblin core type things up here. I also made this about 2 inches wide so I could layer and stack some things. The one I made previously was barely big enough for some stuff to even sit on the shelf themselves. I didn't want to repeat that mistake. I'm obsessed with these little turtles and lizards and geckos. And that cute little Eevee, who's my favorite Pokemon, by the way. Had to let the little dinosaurs live together. Obviously, you can see I have a green theme going on. I really didn't do this on purpose. It just kind of happened. A lot of the stuff that finds me, or even when I find it, I tend to always get the yellow and green versions of stuff. This happens all the time in my Gashapon too, which I guess is great aesthetically. Just unexpected most of the time. The cutest little green duck. And the final pieces. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!